fans, and welcome back to Kickturn Party. We're going to continue our discussion on the 80s, talking about some skateboards, some Thrasher magazines. I'm going to cut to the guys, to Natbite, to Cap, Jcab, and to
Fred!
And there we go. We're back to the Kickturn Party.
Welcome back to Kickturn Party.
We're back.
I want to go
Our
that
producer's
far.
back, as you can obviously see. And we're going to start off our discussion tonight, again, with a little bit more early 80s stuff.
Early, mid-80s. This Corey O'Brien model is probably at least 85, right?
And probably 86, 87.
Yeah. So that's
Still had a relatively short nose, but total shape, the fantail, and then you've got some crappy Veriflex trucks and street race too.
There's two really cool things about this board.
This is a bird riser pad.
There's three now. What we got on here is some clouds, Veriflex clouds cushions.
Which were probably the very first performance bushings.
Yeah, very first.
These
actually,
right
I think they're very first urethane bushings.
Yeah, could be.
And they were really great.
Cloud.
These were highly coveted.
Exactly.
Even to this day, people still look for those things.
Yeah.
They are awesome. Another great thing about this board that no one's noticed yet is on top of it here, we got bridge bolts.
Bridge bolts.
You kids, if you don't remember bridge bolts, then you just don't know what's going on. Because these, not only did you only have to buy one piece, actually two pieces to put a full truck on, but one piece instead of two bolts, they catch your foot when you ollied.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that was something. That was a big deal back
That helped
then.
you get over the curb.
And probably the best, in my opinion, one of the best Santa Cruz graphics ever.
The Flaming Skull, the Ghost Rider.
Yeah, Ghost Rider with the flaming fireball.
Absolutely killer stuff. Absolutely killer stuff. Now, this board used to have rails on it?
Ah, yeah.
No, that's good because it saved the graphics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of wear.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
So-
awesome.
So, JD, did you personally ride this, or is this
Nah,
just a
it was
collection?
somewhere around. Yeah, I picked it up along the way because I always loved those graphics. I always thought that was cool.
Yeah,
So that's the same guy that did the.
Jim Phillips, he's been doing all the graphics for Santa Cruz
Forever.
for years. He does great stuff. Yeah. So
They've reproduced that on T-shirts and everything. I hope they redo this board. Sure, to God, they reissue
I'm
it.
sure they've got a reissue.
You know, and this is a really, really good screen job. That's a lot of colors and a lot of layers. And back when skateboards were hand screening and not that heat transfer that they use now,
exactly.
a lot of work, hand work, went into putting a graphic on this board and getting it out to market.
A lot of what?
Well, that's awesome, JD.
That is a totally killer board.
That's one of my favorite boards
board.
for
And
the 80s.
right about that time also, Thrasher had just moved from this large format magazine, this big old huge thing, printed on newsprint, and they were actually making enough money off advertising.
That's March 81.
Yeah. Look on the back. This is once again another Thrasher that they couldn't sell the back cover for advertising. So they finally stepped it up and got some people to actually advertise.
And this is October 81. I mean, this is, 6 months later.
Yep.
They've moved to, it's still newsprint, but it's got a nice glossy outer cover and it's standard,
Right.
8.5 by 11 format. Or
They
whatever.
were able to cut it down and put on a cover. I remember when I first was getting those, I was like, ooh, look. They've stepped up.
Sims.
Yeah, Sims on the cover. And
They
notice
sold back-
what's in
they sold
the
back cover.
last page ad is not independent.
Nope.
They haven't done that
It's,
yet.
this
There's
is
independent
Tracker.
right there.
No, this is a
Yeah.
joint
Well,
ad.
they were
But
the back
all
cover
Thrashers
forever.
nowadays,
Yeah.
the last page ad.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Really?
Go look at no. It hasn't been that way for at least a year.
Well,
What is the last?
let's
page?
jump ahead to 87 and see what we got in there.
Yeah. Oh.
Independent.
Yeah.
Always the last page ad.
Right. So this is kind of what was going on. It was kind of almost an evolution of the skate magazine a little bit. Of course, like we pointed out in another episode, Transworld was blowing up because they actually had a little money behind them. Ooh, look, they were doing trick tip stuff, and they were using sequential photographs, which was a whole new thing at the time. What kind of sequences do we got going on there?
That's a front side.
Is that
rock
Rodney
and roll
Mullen?
slide.
Front side rock and roll slide. Ooh.
That's a slappy. Now wait a minute. Front side slappy in 1983.
That's
I
right.
thought Grigley invented the slappy.
John Lucero.
Lucero. Okay,
Lucero.
Lucero. He did it. He did
Lucero,
it.
those guys,
Yeah, he
they
did invent
started
it,
that
yeah.
in Del Mar's parking lot.
Yeah.
Once you've mastered it, there's nothing more to street skating.
Exactly.
See,
So-
that's where all these kids are wrong. They're doing flips downstairs. They're doing these ollies. They're jumping on handrails. They should have known that slappies are the best one out there.
Was
the
the
best
future.
trick. That's it.
Oh, look, calendar.
And this is
yeah.
awesome.
The centerfold.
They always had a centerfold in Transworld. That's what separated them from Thrasher. Thrasher now does centerfolds, and they do stickers in their little magazine too. One of the things that's always cool about Transworld was that they were always hitting up the weird scenes, like out in the middle of nowhere. They did a lot of mess type stuff.
Cool.
They were always documenting that, and was always kind of in the back. Global
focus.
Ooh, look, all over the world. Skateboarding's all over the world. It should be called the Bastard because it's actually just a Sims logo.
Snowboarding ads. See,
Once again,
you guys think you invented snowboarding. Look how old this is.
That's right.
Fork-tailed devil.
Once again, who needs bindings?
Is that Petey? Who is that?
I don't know. Is that-
Walker ad.
I don't know.
It may be Petey.
it may be Sean Petey.
Yeah.
He was a ripper, man.
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
You got something marked here. What's the mark?
One quick little thing. Mess contest.
Hell,
Yeah.
I can't
We
see
got
that far.
Bill Danforth.
Bill Danforth. Which
We
mess
got,
was this?
This is
Huntington,
Fergie.
West Virginia.
This
I
is-
didn't get to that one. New Carlisle, Ohio. I'm not sure.
Jinx. Marty Jimenez.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Jinx. He was in on that. And on the other side, we've
We have
got
more-
Kevin Dickman, the original Squid Dickman. Yes. I've got his board on my wall.
Photo.
Switch to a producer cam. You can see Squid Dickman right behind
yeah.
Buddy's head. Yeah.
Bob Pribble photograph on both of these.
Bob
that's,
Pribble.
That's Bill Danforth.
I just hung out with Pribble at the last Florida Vert series. And we're gonna
Yeah,
have
man,
that.
Transworld was it was pretty rad.
Yeah.
You know,
They were doing a good thing for
backing. I
skateboarding.
mean, Going's doing a full page ad. Sims is buying the back. You know, Vans.
Vans.
Look, what's changed at the bottom of a van? Nothing.
What's changed with Stevie's hair?
He just grew a beard.
Yeah. He lost it.
Yeah, he lost it. It all moved down here.
Steve Cavallero.
So that was
greatest
another little
skateboarders of all
bit.
time.
So
You're killing me throwing these magazines around. You need,
Yeah,
you need to have white gloves on.
That-
We need to get this a museum piece.
JD's the
What
collector.
issue is that at Transworld?
I'm not,
83.
It's got to be like
you can't
Hey,
probably
look,
sell that for
second
$10 on
Okay, so what is that? That is November, December '83, and we've got this Thrasher. So this one's $1.75. This one's $1.
There you go.
Damn.
But look at the quality.
And that was
look at
Transworld in the '80s only did 6 issues
look at the
a year,
production quality. on
where
that.
Thrasher was doing 12.
Right.
Who's on the cover?
That's
That's
Alan
gotta be-
that's
Losey.
Alan Losey.
Alan Losey on the cover.
Losey
So-
Skates, just check out the board.
That's probably still Veriflexing.
Could be.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So right about that time, when we were looking at this, what we were trying to do, and things had gone a little bit further, we had built a big ramp over next to Rivergate Mall, and it was called the NAD ramp, and I think I've got a little footage of that.
Good
This
job,
was-
Mr. Producer.
this was-
Good job.
Yeah, he's on it. He's on it. That's why we pay him the big bucks.
That's an intro.
And this was a big ramp. This was actually about
That is
10 and
big.
a half. I think it was maybe 11, which
Well, it's
was
about
pretty
like the
big
back-
at the time.
Yeah.
That's
About like the
Lyle.
backyard.
This was when we were really beginning to kind of hit our prime.
Is that just really glossy paint?
It's a really glossy paint.
Okay.
This was all plywood. It was 24 feet wide channel with a small
Is that,
section.
that looks like pool coping on that
We
side
had
too.
Yeah,
it was
alley-oop.
pool coping on both sides, and it was flat pool coping. It wasn't real pool coping that
wasn't
dipped
rounded.
up. It was
Yeah.
totally like a flat
Yeah.
block. It was some of the best pool coping you've ever seen.
Cool, man.
Heck yeah, he's ripping it.
Grief.
Yeah.
Who
Like I
was
said, that was Lyle.
That's Matt White.
This was another guy.
So where did this footage come
There was a guy in Nashville, Tony. I think he's on here a little bit. There he is, Tony Cook. He actually
Rock
worked
slide.
He actually worked for one of the local TV stations, and he had access to a
from?
VHS
I think
camera.
the editing is
And
pretty
those
good.
those things.
Yeah,
were
look at
really
that.
Yeah,
good.
Kiwi was
Back
awesome.
Kiwi.
But,
Damn.
Wendell.
he had access to a $1,000, $1,500, VHS camera. And we didn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm really stoked
Yeah.
to have this footage because, like I said, this was us all when we were kind of in our prime a little bit.
Which is what was it?
This was
83?
83 or
Yeah.
so.
Jay.
Yeah.
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 Cowboy.
Backside
Before
area.
you started dropping that back foot off.
Well, that one was. a little
Where's
bit
your
back
helmet,
off.
Jay?
Yeah.
It's all of his hair.
I
He
had
doesn't
a
need
lot
to-
of hair back
Look at that.
then.
In the air.
Had a lot of hair back
Cowboy.
then.
I've never seen this footage.
Look
Yeah.
at that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to be good.
Woo!
There was a point where actually I could ride a skateboard, and not just do cars.
Yeah, Jay's ripping.
But that was a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
Catch a little run going.
Yeah.
Why? So it looks like everybody's following the one wall for
Look,
tricks.
Jay back.
Yeah.
Do you do a palmy?
I never was able to do the palm air.
Underhill. only one other person could ever do the palm air. That was Tony.
Well, he taught it to Tony.
Yeah.
He invented it. And
Yeah.
Tony stole it.
But this was when Ray started to really take off. He had just got sponsored by Powell a little bit and was getting some free stuff, and he was really
look
good.
at that.
And it wasn't more than a year or so later, I guess it was a couple of years later, when him and Britt both moved out to California. Britt started working for Transworld. He became one of their associate editors.
There's Britt.
And Ray moved on to the Bowens Brigade.
Heck yeah.
But it was always a big competition between me and Britt and Lyle because we knew Ray was light years ahead of us. So it's like us three fighting for second place. And I think both those guys were a bit better than me, but
Heck yeah.
not in my mind.
That's some killer footage right there.
Great footage, Kevin.
Yeah, so that was another little part of what was going on during the early '80s here in Tennessee. We were reading magazines like this. We were reading magazines like this. We were getting magazines like this from our Eastern Skate Supply.
As we got in here.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot going on here.
And that's it from Kickturn Party. We're out!
Everybody's gonna hang out here tonight. Alright. We'll pass out in the flat. Alright. Tonight. We got nothing better to do than to take 6 runs, drink a dozen brews. Don't talk about anything else. We don't wanna know. We're dedicated to beers, smoke, and road. Backside slasher, website ground, Kickturn, garbage. We'll hang out by the peanut pool all night and every night, and go someplace else and smoke again.